check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check.
I'm back in Oscar Romeo for a nice land away.
We're off to Bournemouth today, everyone. We're off to see my brother. Lovely day, albeit very cold.
Golf Oscar Romeo, left turn at 1 mile, runway 03, cleared to takeoff, wind 040 degrees, 9 knots.
Clear for takeoff, 03, left turn 1 mile, Golf Oscar Romeo.
We're on runway 03 today. We'll turn westbound towards Guildford before heading south towards the Sussex coast. It's a nice VFR day, so this shouldn't be a difficult flight to navigate.
Can't say I feel on top of my game today. I feel, you know, one of those days where you don't quite feel something's wrong. But there you go. It's probably I'm a bit out of practice, you know, that's the thing. If you don't fly for a bit, this is what you get. Need to avoid Kenley, which is just off my left wing there. Trim up here, turn the fuel pump off, landing light off. Pitot heat can come off now. Golf Oscar Romeo, north of beam Kenley, 2,200 feet, would like to change to Farnborough radar, 125.250.
Golf Oscar Romeo, frequency change approved, squawk 7000.
Frequency change approved, squawk 7000, Golf Oscar Romeo. Where are we routing via Guildford, Midhurst, the Isle of Wight.
Before hitting the transmit button, I'm making sure I know what I'm going to say.
Farnborough radar, Golf Bravo Hotel, Oscar Romeo, traffic service.
Golf Bravo Hotel, Oscar Romeo, Farnborough radar, pass message.
Golf Bravo Hotel, Oscar Romeo, PA28, Biggin Hill to Bournemouth, VFR, 7 miles to the west of Biggin Hill, 2,200 feet. QNH 1037, routing Guildford, Mike India Delta and the Isle of Wight. Request traffic service.
Golf Oscar Romeo, squawk 0431, Farnborough QNH, correct.
0431 on the squawk, Golf Oscar Romeo. So we're running late. Basically, I'm off to see my brother, who lives in Bournemouth, which is a 50-minute flight in the airplane and about a 3-hour drive. Hence we don't get to see each other all that much because of the long-distance drive. The other reason is that Bournemouth's quite an expensive aerodrome to land at. But we decided to do it today. We've both got a day off, and the difficulty is I really want to get back before nightfall because I'm not exactly in current practice with my night rating. So having departed a bit late for one reason and another, it's going to squeeze the amount of time we've got together. Never been to Bournemouth before, so looking forward to it. What a lovely day, apart from a low layer of mist and haze, or it was haze actually, not mist. So here we go, we're on our next turning point, which is 258. Making use of the GNS 430. So we'll be at 3339.
Even though the GPS is telling me everything I need to know, I keep a pilot log going and estimate my ETA at each of the waypoints along the route.
509.5 and then 14.5. So we gave Bournemouth an estimate of between 11:30 and 12. It's almost 11:30 now, so we're going to be a little bit overdue. So a bit of a Frida check here.
Frida stands for fuel. Radios tuned and identified. Engine temperatures and pressures in the green, carb heat on. Direction indicator aligned. Altimeter set correctly. I do this check at roughly 15-minute intervals.
So how's everyone been doing? I hope you're having fun. Thank you for all the comments on my videos. You've been keeping me busy commenting on my videos, asking me questions.
Traffic in your 12 o'clock range of 4 miles left, right, 2,000 feet.
So the GNS 430 is now telling me to turn left in 3 seconds. So we'll turn left round to 172.
Foxtrot Romeo, thank you. Identified deconfliction service. Reduce traffic information due radar suppressing on passing 5,000.
So as we turn into the sun, you'll see the visibility becomes pretty grim.
When I'm not doing anything in the cockpit, I'm always trying to think ahead and get the next frequency or navigational aid tuned in.
Basically, good thing to know when you're flying is get ahead of yourself. So put in the Solent radar frequency.
1225, hello,
we are going to need DME for Bournemouth at some stage. So we're 6 miles to Midhurst, and we come out of Midhurst.
It's another flying reporter cock-up. The next heading on my plog says I need to take up a southeasterly track, yet I know that I need to head southwest.
There is no transponder showing.
That looks wrong.
The Farnborough ATZ.
I should have done a gross error check on my plog before getting into the cockpit. That involves looking at the route and making sure the headings look vaguely in the right direction.
I've got a wrong heading in here.
Is active for runway 27 with a Chinook.
It's showing me a heading of southeast.
At 2,300
East southeast.
QNH 1036.
Which is clearly wrong,
basic service.
because we're heading southwest. Yes, I'm a bit embarrassed that I got my planning wrong. I did replan the flight several times over a couple of days, and if you're not careful, that can catch you out. I didn't really do a gross error check on the plan, so that's another mistake on my part. Usually it's good to sort of go through the headings and make sure before you get in the plane that they look and make sense. They look right and make sense. And I skipped that step today, so that's a little learning point for me to not do next time. But thankfully, rather than just steer the heading, regardless, it didn't look right. So luckily we caught that one. Now I could have routed direct over Southampton and requested clearance through their controlled airspace, but I chose not to. It involves quite a bit of work on their part, and as it's a visual VMC day, I thought I wouldn't create that work for them, and I'd go the long way round. Although actually, when I looked at the flight times, it didn't really make much difference, to be fair.
So instead of a direct track to Bournemouth through Southampton Airport's airspace, I've opted to fly over the Isle of Wight and approach Bournemouth from the south. The views are quite a lot better too.
Golf Oscar Romeo, East Beam, Portsmouth, 3,200 feet. Would like to listen across Solent radar 120225.
Golf Oscar Romeo, thank you. Radar 778, squawk 7000, and listen now. In fact, squawk 0011, listen out on Solent 120.225. Bye-bye.
I'm making use of a listening squawk because I'm going to be flying close to the boundary of Southampton's controlled airspace. I'm going to listen to them and show them that I'm listening by putting 0011 in my transponder. They're a pretty busy air traffic unit, and doing this I don't have to bother them for a service, but we can both talk to each other if we end up needing to. There are different listening squawks across the country for different swathes of controlled airspace.
Airfield information. Taxiway Bravo closed. Start and taxi. Contact ground on 121.7. NTB out of service. Surface wind 060 degrees 6 knots. Cavalcade temperature 5. Dew point -2. QNH 1. 036 hectopascals.
Bournemouth radar, Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo inbound.
Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, Bournemouth, good morning, I have your details. And just confirm you say you're joining VFR.
Joining VFR, southeast of beam, Needles, 3,300 feet, 1036 with Quebec.
Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, roger, joined by Hainsbury Head, VFR, not above 2,000 feet, QNH 1036, runway 08, report at Hainsbury Head.
I continue at altitude while crossing the water, but need to be at or below 2,000 feet at the controlled airspace boundary, which is the land feature you can see dead ahead. In actual fact, I don't plan this very well and end up making a fairly hasty descent.
Golf Oscar Romeo, traffic opposite direction, it's a Robin approaching Hainsbury Head at 1,800 feet southbound.
We're looking at just abeam Hainsbury Head now, down to 1,900 feet.
Roger. Golf Oscar Romeo from Hainsbury Head, join downwind right hand for runway 08 and report the field in sight.
Join downwind right hand 08, field in sight, Golf Oscar Romeo.
I have the field in sight, but at this distance I can't quite distinguish the runways from the taxiways. I use my compass to work out the runway orientation relative to my position and heading. The GPS and Sky Demon are a great help here too.
Golf Oscar Romeo, you have the field in sight?
Have the field in sight, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Thank you, and you have that Robin in sight?
Affirm, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Oscar Romeo, roger, contact with tower 125.6, have a good day.
125.6, thank you, Golf Oscar Romeo. Right hand, tower, Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, joining downwind right hand 08.
Golf Bravo Hotel Oscar Romeo, Bournemouth Tower, downwind to approved for runway 08.
Sorry, say again, Oscar Romeo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, downwind to approved to number 2, following a Seneca just approaching a 5-mile final.
Golf Oscar Romeo, approved to join downwind 08, number 2, following the Seneca, Golf Oscar Romeo.
I didn't hear the controller clearly the first time. If in doubt, always ask. The phraseology for that is, say again. I now start descending to circuit altitude 1,200 feet here at Bournemouth and adjust my path to join downwind right hand.
Brakes, undercarriage is fixed. EasyJet's just taken off.
Bournemouth Tower, Blackadder 03, holding up Mike for runway 08, ready for departure.
Blackadder 03 Tower, roger. Easy 68 Juliet Hotel, contact Bournemouth radar with your heading 119.475.
119.475, Easy 68 Juliet Hotel.
Golf Oscar Romeo, report ready for right base. The traffic you're following is now at 2.5 miles for go around.
We'll report right base and looking out for that one, Golf Oscar Romeo. Visual, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, roger. That traffic is for go around. Report final runway 08, number 2.
Report final 08, number 2, Golf Oscar Romeo.
The controller has now given me permission to turn base leg and onto final. He knows I can see the Seneca on final, and I know it's going around, so I'm given the discretion to space my own approach behind him. Once he's abeam me, I turn base.
Tower 2 Lima Oscar Victor Echo.
2 Lima Oscar Victor Echo, Bournemouth Tower. Report right base runway 08, you're number 3. You're following a Cherokee 2 miles southwest of the airfield, just turning base leg this time.
The 3, 2 Victor Echo.
Golf Oscar Romeo, clear to land runway 08, surface wind 050 degrees, 8 knots.
Clear to land 08, Golf Oscar Romeo.
Blackadder 03, behind the landing Cherokee, line up runway 08 behind.
Behind the landing Cherokee, line from wait behind, Blackadder 03.
Oxford 52, contact Bournemouth radar 119.475.
Contact Bournemouth radar 119.475, Oxford 52.
2 Victor Echo. If you route for a 3-mile final now, please. The traffic you're following is on a 1-mile final, but there is one to depart ahead of you as well.
3-mile final, 2 Victor Echo.
500 feet, calm heat comes off. Full flat.
I'm coming in quite slowly here, what with the headwind. This is my standard stabilised approach profile. I'm conscious though that there's an aircraft at the hold waiting to depart and one behind me waiting to join and land. I feel like I'm holding everyone up, but I daren't speed up and risk making the approach unstabilised. Right now my descent and speed are right on the mark. With full flap extended and no gusts, I'm looking for an approach speed of 70 knots here. As I pass the threshold, the piano key markings there, I'm going to be aiming for 65 knots. Then I hold off for a smooth touchdown.
Golf Oscar Romeo, continue down the runway, vacate first left at Tango.
First left at Tango, and we're going to be requesting taxi to Bliss, please.
Roger, are you familiar with the airfield layout?
I have a chart, but that's it. Golf Oscar Romeo.
No problem, I will be transferring you to ground once you clear of the runway, they'll be able to give you direction.
Golf Oscar Romeo.
Bournemouth ground gave me progressive taxi instructions to parking at the GA handling, which isn't the easiest to find. I had a great flight and notched up another airfield in my logbook. Bournemouth isn't cheap to land at, in fact it's the most expensive airport I've visited so far. It's the only airport though near where my brother lives, so I didn't have any choice. However, the service both from ATC and on the ground was very professional and courteous. Stay tuned, my return flight will be next up as we race the sunset to get home. See you soon.